Hello everybody, welcome back to Victoria 3. Recently I put a post out on my YouTube channel asking you which video you would like to see next, and one of the options that was listed was how to form Super Germany, which won by quite a lot. So here I am today to show you exactly how to form Super Germany. So basically what Super Germany is where you take either Austria or Prussia and you form Germany by annexing the other potential unifier. So as Prussia you would annex Austria, and as Austria you would annex Prussia. Now the concepts in this guide are going to be useful for both if you would like to form it with Austria or Prussia, but I am going to be playing as Prussia today as I find them to be just a little bit more fun. So I made a how to form Germany video already on the channel. The main principles are going to be the same. You come over to the journal entry and you're going to see North German Confederation. You need nationalism, and then all of the North German states are going to start joining you diplomatically. So, first things first, we're going to research nationalism. We're going to change our buildings. I'm going to set everything to auto-expand, and I'm going to change all of the production methods to whatever's the most profitable. Alright, after you do that, you're going to go over to your politics tab, go over to the government. You're going to reform it to whatever has the highest legitimacy that contains the armed forces. For me, that's just going to be the armed forces, so I'm going to stick them in charge. Now, after we do that, we're going to come over to the budget tab, and we are going to crank our taxation up to 5, and we are going to add a consumption tax on services and clothes. And what we are going to do with this excess money is we are going to start bankrolling Russia. That's going to be about 20,000, and then we are also going to start bankrolling all the other North German states. This is going to cost us money, but it is more efficient in influence than just improving relations, and I find it to be better that way. So we are going to bankroll all of the North German states until we have no more influence. Alright, once that is done, you're free to unpause the game. Alright, that did not take very long. So the reason we were bankrolling Russia was to gain an obligation from them. We can use this obligation later to call them into a war with Austria to take German leadership. So because we have the obligation from Russia, we're going to stop bankrolling them, and we're going to move on to bankrolling France. And we are going to start bankrolling France instead until we get an obligation with them. Alright, we got nationalism. Now these North German states should start asking to join us. In the meantime, we're going to start researching pan-nationalism so we can get the full-on German formation. Now, having nationalism, that also allows us to launch a leadership play, which we will do in a little bit after we get all of our obligations. We are going to try and get an obligation from Russia, France, and Great Britain, and then use them all at once to call them all into a war against Austria for the leadership play. This will do one of two things. This will either get Austria to back down from the play, or just make it to where we win pretty much without any effort because of our overwhelming forces against theirs. So you're gonna get a bunch of these confederation pop-ups, except every single one of them you get a little bit of infamy, but it doesn't really matter. We're just gonna keep going until we get all of them. Now you will not get them for states that are not in your market. So if you click on the market button here, you'll see that there is a Hanover market over here. You will bankroll these guys, and once you get obligations over them, you can boost your relations with them, and sometimes you'll be able to use the obligation to get them to join your customs union. It isn't 100% necessary for what we're doing, but it does make it a little bit easier in the long run to do exactly what you're doing. So if you get the chance, do that. If not, it doesn't really matter. It's not going to be relevant for the final product. Alright, I got my obligation from France done, so I'm going to stop bankrolling them, and we're going to start bankrolling Great Britain now. So keep an eye on how many obligations you have. You can right click on your country, click on information, go to the diplomacy tab, scroll all the way down, you'll see owes obligations too, and you're going to keep an eye out on this until you get Britain as well. Once you have all three of those, we're going to launch the next step of the plan, but in the meantime, just keep accepting the confederation pop-ups until you get the obligation from Britain. And as you do the confederation pop-ups, be sure to incorporate the states as they join you so that you can get the most out of this. Alright, I have my obligation from the British, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the Cultures tab, we're going to click on Nation Formation, and we are going to launch a leadership play against Austria. And if you look here, we have France could get involved, Great Britain could get involved, and Russia can get involved. First we're going to go to Russia, we're going to call in obligation. We're going to go to France and call in obligation. And we're also going to go to Britain and call in our obligation. Now, at this point, this is 4 major powers against 1. They are fearful of us. And for good reason. They are going to lose this war if they fight it. Alright, and they backed down. This is exactly what we were hoping for. Now, if you have to fight the war, you shouldn't have much problem with it. Like, say, just get a good general, Get an offensive dude, have him push. Get a defensive dude, have him defend. Austria will not be able to defend against all 4 of you, but I wouldn't actually know 100% because every time I've done this, they have backed down. So, what we do after this, we're going to end our rivalry with Austria, and we are going to establish a rivalry with Spain instead, so that we can keep our influence high enough. We're going to stop bankrolling the British. We need to get enough influence to improve relations with Austria, as right now they are cold, and for good reason. So, cancel enough of the bankrolling so that you have 300 influence. Then we're going to improve relations with Austria. And it's going to take a while because we do have a rivalry with them, so you'll need to be patient. We need to get this high enough so that we can start bankrolling them, which you just need them to not be cold. You need it to be neutral, which is above -19. Now, you're also going to have quite a large surplus coming in from not bankrolling Great Britain anymore, so normally I would tell you to build up your construction center and do some stuff with that, but we're actually going to need a pretty large stockpile in the future. So until you get your gold reserves pretty much all the way maxed, don't do anything else with this money. And what I would recommend doing is just cutting taxes so that you can keep your radicals down, because you will have a little bit of an issue with radicals during this run. So if you need to, just cut back on this, but only do that after you get your gold reserves maxed. Okay, once you unify with enough of the German states, you're going to get this little pop-up here towards Germany. It's going to give you 2 options. They're both good. Neither of them are bad. You can take whichever one you slightly prefer. Either way, you're going to become the North German Confederation. I'm going to take the bottom one, though, because I want the prestige and influence, because influence is actually really nice for what we are doing. So, after that, you're going to have to wait for pan-nationalism to finish researching in order to incorporate more states. So, in the meantime, just chill out and don't get in any wars. The next pause you will do is either because your relations with Austria are no longer poor and are neutral, or if you finish researching pan-nationalism. Alright, we have finished with pan-nationalism, so we are going to start getting confederation pop-ups again. And as far as research goes at this point, you can research anything you want. For this one, I would probably recommend doing either military or production. Either one is fine, just research whatever you want to. Okay, so the exact moment that your relations with Austria reach neutral, you are going to need to start bankrolling them again, because they will start to damage their relations with you, and if they are able to drop your relations down under neutral while damaging them, there is nothing you're going to be able to do. So the moment that it turns to neutral, you are going to start bankrolling them. If you turned your taxation levels down, go ahead and turn them back up, because it's going to be a little expensive to do. You can also take some of the authority you got from researching nationalism and pan-nationalism and add more consumption taxes. But I'm going to bankroll them. Looks like it's going to cost 46,000. That is fine. We have the economy for it. And we are going to hope for an obligation with them so that we can call them into a war in the future. Alright. And as I predicted, Austria has started damaging relations with us. We are bankrolling and improving relations with them, though, so our relations are going to go up faster than they can damage them. But just to get it done a little bit faster, I already have an obligation over them that I was going to use later to pull them into a war, but I'm going to go ahead and use that now and absolve the obligation to increase relations so that they will stop damaging relations with us if it gets high enough. And there we go. Now we're increasing relations much faster. We do need this to be up to a certain point. Usually I like to get to amicable before attempting to unify all of Germany. Now, the plan from here on out, we are going to try and get an obligation over every single other German unifier state, except for Luxembourg. We want our relations with them to be bad because we are actually going to go to war against them. So what we will do, we will gain an obligation over Austria, Bavaria, Württemberg, Baden, Hamburg, Holstein, Schleswig, and because we don't want them to get involved in our war, we will also do it with France. So increase your taxation levels. Use that extra money to bankroll France as well, and once you get an obligation with both Austria and France and the rest of everybody else, that is when the next part of the plan will commence. Alright, I have my obligation with Austria. I'm going to go ahead and bankroll Russia as well, just because they have a border with us. I don't really want them to get involved in the war either. So I'm going to stop bankrolling Austria, and I'm going to choose to bankroll Russia, and if we get the obligation, we get it. If not, I'm not too worried about it, because we can beat up Russia. Okay, well, slight change of plans. I have waited several years, and France has still not gotten an obligation from me, so instead I went and got obligations from Russia, Britain, and Austria, and that should be enough to do what we're needing to do. If France decides they want to get involved in the war, they're just going to lose, and it's going to be funny. So what we're going to do now, we are going to come to the diplomatic lens. We are going to go to the diplomatic plays. We are going to conquer state. We are going to conquer Luxembourg because this only gives 8.4 infamy, which will not be enough to elevate our infamy level, and it is a state that is already going to be part of Germany, so might as well take it, right? So we're going to left click, hit confirm. We are going to wait for the diplomatic maneuvers page. We are going to call in our obligation with Austria, and we are going to check the cultures tab real quick. It looks like Bavaria and all the other states already support us as the unification candidate, so we're going to wait just a moment for the game tick to update. There we go. Austria now supports us as the unification candidate. This is because they are genial and amicable towards us. This is due to the fact that we are on the same side as a conflict as the Austrians. This will automatically make them genial towards us if they are amicable or higher. Looks like it also was able to get rid of the natural ally modifier. Before this war even starts, what we're gonna do, we're gonna come over to the cultures tab, nation formation. We are going to form Germany. We are missing out on Alsace-Lorraine, but we can go and fix that later. So click on the form Germany button, and oh boy, this number got really big and really red, and it has a big negative sign on it. This is a massive deficit. We're going to pause all construction. We're gonna need some money. We're going to turn our budget all the way up. What we're going to do to fix this is we're going to come to the political lens, state actions, incorporate states, and we're going to incorporate all of Austria. Every single state that they have must be incorporated if we are going to fix this deficit. What you may also do is come over to the buildings tab, and you're going to need to fix pretty much everything in here. You're going to have to update everything to your method that you want instead of the Austrian method. It will take a little bit to do this. I'm going to set everything to auto expand and change all of the production methods to whatever is the most profitable. And you are also going to turn off all of the subsidies that Austria is running because they will be subsidizing several industries. I don't recommend this. This is just wasted money, and right now we need to keep ourselves above water. Alright, once you fix all that, that should knock off a few £1,000 per week in losses. Back to the diplomatic play. We're going to go ahead and call in our obligations. Looks like France will just support us outright if we offer them an obligation. Or offer them a regime change of the Netherlands, which, why give them an obligation when we can just bully the Netherlands? We'll do that. And might as well call in the obligation against Britain just to really nail home how screwed the Netherlands are. Also, you're going to get the German unification notification. You can pick whichever one of these you want. I'm going to go with the Loyalists because at this point, with having the taxes as high as we have had them the entire game, we're going to want some more Loyalists. And shockingly enough, the Netherlands is actually going to try and fight this war with their whole 24 divisions. Yeah, I have 682. What are you going to do about it? I'm actually going to go ahead and cut my military wages to medium as well, just to shave a little bit more off so we get a little bit more headroom before we hit into the negatives and start accumulating debt. Also, I forgot to stop bankrolling France, so I'm going to do that as well. And now we're only down to negative 60k a week. And we're in the positive. Now I'm just going to sit and watch this number rack up for a quick second. Oh, we're already into 10,000 surplus, 15,000 surplus, 20,000 surplus. That's going to keep going up for a while. And we're about to win the war with the Netherlands, so we're going to get Luxembourg too. Hooray! There we go. We got Luxembourg. Let's incorporate that dude. Alright, so we have finally incorporated all of the culturally German territories. There are still quite a few other Austrian territories that we have not incorporated yet. They're going to take a little bit longer. We're about halfway done with that. But just with that going, we already have a surplus of £269,000 a week. We are the #1 ranked country in the world by a pretty substantial margin, about 300 prestige. Our economy is second in the world currently, only to that of Great Qing. Population is 3rd in the world. We do have quite a few radicals. We can fix this by reducing our taxation levels. We're going to go ahead and unpause all of our construction. Now, keep in mind, sometimes Austria will go a little wild with the construction sectors. Last time I did this, they had 900 construction levels worth of construction sectors just down in these areas. If that happens, because that's happened to me twice, you will need to go and delete several construction sectors if you want a functioning construction industry. And yeah, this is Super Germany. You can do whatever you want now. You want to go conquer Russia? Go for it. You want to conquer France? Go for it. You want to conquer Great Britain? You can do it. You can conquer whatever the heck you want. You want to reform the Roman Empire as Germany? Who's going to stop you? You are the most powerful nation in the world. And if you keep bankrolling people and getting obligations over them, they can't go to war with you. If you get an obligation with Great Britain, France, and Russia, and you go to war with the Ottomans, Sweden, Denmark, Netherlands, they can't actually join the war against you. They're stuck. You can expand as much as you want, as far as you want, as fast as you want. The only thing is, radicals will become a problem, so you're probably going to want to get your economic situation figured out first to get your standard of living up high, and then go conquer, because if your infamy gets too high, your radicals from conquest are going to start getting high, and if you get radicals, they can kind of kill your run, so be cautious of that if you decide to try and go for like a world conquest or something. But yes, without further ado, that is the Super Germany video. This is what you all asked for. I hope that I delivered. If you want to see this from the Austrian perspective, I can make a video on that, though most of the tricks are going to be about the same. You're going to bankroll Russia, France, and Great Britain, and then bankroll Prussia to get them on the same side of you as a war, launch a leadership play, yada yada, do the same thing. So if you want an Austrian video, I can do that, but it's going to be pretty much the same as this one. If not, I'm probably going to move on to an Ottoman Empire video next, so if you want to see that in the future, be sure to subscribe so you're notified whenever that releases. Leave a like if you found this to be helpful, and leave a comment letting me know which countries you want to see coming up in the future. I've pretty much put together a list of all the suggestions that have been given to me, and I do in fact read every single comment as of right now. There are few enough right now for that to be possible, so I do appreciate it. But yeah, that's going to do it for the Germany video. Hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.